What we're going to talk about is how to build an agency from scratch, or how to say goodbye to your life. And I have to, this is sort of a disclaimer. I've never had a job in advertising, like a real job working for an agency where someone says, hey, Perkins wants to see you in his office. I've never had a job like that. I was a freelance writer for 16 years, which was a great job. It's better than the job I have now. And I had clients all over. I was lucky, and I windsurfed in the afternoon. And then I had sort of a wake-up call, and I think an awful lot of people who start agencies start because of an event. And something happens that gives them the impetus to do it. Maybe they get fired. That would be a bad wake-up call. Maybe they inherit a couple $1 million. That would be a good wake-up call. My wake-up call was that my wife got pregnant, and we already had a couple of kids, and she said to me in a very supportive way, you're 39 years old. Don't you think maybe you should get a job? So I said, yeah, okay. So we started Crispin & Porter Advertising. I started it with a guy in Miami by the name of Sam Crispin at a little agency. This was our logo, done by Alex Bogusky when I think he was 12 years old. And we worked very hard for a couple of years trying to do some good work. And after about 2 years, something amazing happened. We got profiled in communication arts. And this was, I guess, the first really significant lesson we learned about how to build an agency, which is that press is probably the most important thing. And that's why I think award shows like this are great. But they profiled us. This was our creative department then. The two people in the middle were not actually in the creative department then. There were 7 people total. And what really happened here is not like a whole bunch of clients called us. What happened is, all of a sudden, talented kids wanted to work at our place. And that had never happened before. We talked to people and we said, yeah, we have an agency in Miami. And they said, can you get us drugs? All of a sudden, people from as far away as Baltimore said, I want to come and work for you. You guys are doing cool work. So that was an amazing thing, and it taught us also how to hire. We hired for brains, talent, passion, curiosity, and experience in that order. We didn't get our initial people from the usual suspects, necessarily from portfolio schools and stuff like that. We just tried to hire smart kids. And we also promoted from within, and I think that has been a very strong part of our culture. I want to talk for a second about the all-important agency philosophy. I know people who are thinking about starting agencies, and they've worked for a year on the agency philosophy. And it's interesting to me because you say, like, what is Goodby's philosophy? Who gives a shit? You know, as far as I can tell, Goodby's philosophy is do work that makes me want to buy milk. That's a pretty cool philosophy. And I think it's important to remember when you're thinking about philosophies, all agencies say the same thing. I know a lot of agencies. All agencies, including us, say the same thing. If you said to 100 agencies, is the work the most important thing, 92 of them would say yes, and the other 8 would say absolutely. So unless you have a really unique selling proposition, I'd say forget about the philosophy, just do the work. If this is your selling proposition, then that's cool. Publish it. In fact, I wish someone had this selling proposition. But unless you've got something as unique as this, just do the work. Now, saying that a philosophy isn't important is not the same as saying a mission statement isn't important. A mission statement is critically important, in my opinion. And it maybe is not necessary for the founders. It's maybe not necessary for the people who have the initial vision. But a mission statement is important for another critical audience. It's the people who come to work for you. The people who come to work for you are putting their trust in you. They're eager, they're ready to kill for you, but they've got to have a mission and they have to understand what it is. So it took us a while, probably 4 or 5 years, to come up with what we felt was a realistic mission for us. And this is what it was: to produce the most talked about, written about advertising in the world. We were 90 people, and this was an awful lot to bite off. But this is who we wanted to be, and it's what we measured everything by. Everything we did in the agency, we said, does it help us get there? And if it doesn't, we probably shouldn't be doing it. And it was interesting because I think that this helped us learn another thing, which is this: ideas that don't get produced are worthless. So we learned that creative is critically important, and creative talent is the single most important thing an agency can have. But ninja account people is the other most important thing, because they're the ones that cause the work to live. And I think that that's why we were able to produce some of the work that we were able to produce. So you got a mission statement, you've already put together a great logo, you have a cool space, you have a press release. Is there really anything else you need? In my opinion, probably, yeah. You probably should start with a client. This is from experience. About 11 years ago, we opened an office in L.A., Crispin Porter Bogusky, L.A. We had a red firehouse in Venice, California. It was a cool space. We had everything. We didn't have any clients. So as a result, for the first 2 months we were open, it was enormously demoralizing. And it's not about the money. I mean, the money's good. The cash flow is good, but that's not the important thing. The important thing is we're advertising people, and we do shit. We don't plan. We don't meet. We don't think about. We do stuff. And if you don't have anything to do, it's a very sad thing. So I don't think I would start an agency without a client. Early on, we learned how to get attention with no money. And if you're going to start up an agency, unless you're very, very lucky and you're starting up with, I don't know, Jaguar globally or whatever, you're going to have to learn to get attention with no money. We had retail clients back then. One was a men's store called Rory, and they actually gave us about $60. So this is the commercial we made for them.
Okay, first you've got to get a nice suit. The suit is very important because that's how you get her to notice you. Then once you've got her attention, make your move. Subtlety is the key here.
So that spot cost about $50. It was shortlisted at Cannes. At the time, we were like, Cannes, where is Cannes? Is that in Mexico? So that's kind of where we were. But it was a cool thing. And as you can tell from the voiceovers, that's the only voiceover we could afford. I also think when you're starting out that it's okay to cheat. And when I say cheat, I mean to do things that other people aren't doing. I don't believe in being dishonest, but I believe in stretching the rules. In the U.S., when you buy direct response TV, it's much, much cheaper than regular TV, but you are required to actually have a product to sell and a 1-800 number to sell it with. So when we introduced Mini Cooper to the U.S., we didn't have a lot of money compared to the competition, so we did a lot of weird things. We put cars on top of SUVs and stuff like that. And when we wanted to get into broadcast, we thought, look, we can get some great direct response TV time, but we have to come up with some kind of product. We can't sell Minis direct response. So we made this commercial.
It's happening all around the globe. People getting tricked by counterfeit brand name merchandise, premium watches, sunglasses, and you won't believe what else is being knocked off. Mini Coopers. That's why you need this important DVD from the Counterfeit Commission. You'll get a crash course on how to spot a fake. You'll hear from humiliated victims.
I thought a Mini Cooper for $1,200. What's motor, right?
Wrong. We'll even take you overseas and show you how they duplicate Mini's signature look.
You just paint the roof, slap on some bonnet stripes, boom, boom. No one can tell the difference.
Until they try to park it, drive it, or turn it. Don't be fooled by imitations. Be certain your Mini is genuine. To order counterfeit Mini Coopers, visit counterfeitmini.org or send a self-addressed stamped envelope to the Counterfeit Commission.
So about 14,000 people bought that. I have no idea who they are. Another thing that we believe in is swimming upstream, and I think emerging agencies are probably better able to do this than established agencies. And what it means is that the closer you can get to the product, the more good you can do for your clients. And Burger King has been a client of ours for a while. And we realized that what really moves Burger King's business quite often is the introduction of new products. So we began to think about new products for Burger King. And we actually, Rob Riley, who's the Chief Creative Officer of the agency today, actually invented a product. It's called a chicken fry, and he worked with Burger King kitchens. They actually, because, it's driving in the U.S. and people are eating from their car. And so we created it, and Burger King said, yeah, we'll try it. This could be a cool idea. So it's about driving, and it's about eating while you're driving. So we did a little affiliation with NASCAR, and this is the spot we made to introduce the product.
Back in the early days, they used to hand me the whole chicken on a pole.
You see how we put this chicken on that pole? They'd run that car in there, just stick that chicken right in there in your face.
Then they came up with a drumstick. You get the grease all over your hands, it goes right to the steering wheel. Well, then they incorporated the chicken sandwich, and, that didn't work out at all. Now they've got the chicken fries. All white meat, streamlined for high-speed consumption. You got to feed the need for chicken fries.
So, thanks. I didn't write it. When's the best time to start an agency? 1998. No question about it. There's dot-com money coming out of people's ears. There'll be 14-year-old kids sitting in your lobby with suitcases full of venture capital just dying to give it to you to make a Super Bowl spot. That's the time to start a new agency. If you missed that, then I'd say now. The world is changing pretty fast, and this is a pretty interesting time. And lastly, I think that the other element which people downplay in trying to start a successful agency is luck. And it's definitely there, and it definitely matters. And for any of you who are interested in doing it, I wish you the best. Dave?
Very nice.